Good evening, visitors. Welcome to the Australian War Memorial's Last Post ceremony. My name is Kylie Campbell, and joining us today from the Royal Australian Air Force is Squadron Leader Nelson Miris. 2026 marks 125 years of dedicated service by the Australian Army and its predecessors. Today, we remember and pay tribute to Private Jack Stone. We are honoured to acknowledge Chief of Army Staff India, General Upendra Dwivedi and Mrs. Sunita Dwivedi, accompanied by Chief of Army Lieutenant General Simon Stewart and Mrs. Katie Stewart. We warmly welcome One Joint Data Network and their visiting Joint Data Link members from the United States, Canadian and New Zealand Armed Forces, and the delegation from the United States of America, Canada, the United Kingdom, New Zealand and Australia, representing the Five Eye members from across the cyber community. We welcome the veterans who have served, those that are still serving, and the families that love and support them. The live stream of this ceremony is made possible by the Returned and Services Leagues of Australia and the RSL and Services Clubs Association. We welcome members who are watching the broadcast of this ceremony across Australia. During this evening's ceremony, wreaths will be laid at the base of the pool of reflection by visitors to the memorial. Australia's Federation Guard is the tri-service ceremonial unit of the Australian Defence Force. They provide a ceremonial presence at civil and military events and during visits to Australia by foreign dignitaries. The Guard would now dismount the catafalque party from the tomb of the unknown Australian soldier. If you are able, please stand and join in singing the national anthem.
Catapult party, attention! Catapult party, present arms.
Students, please be seated. The Australian War Memorial was a vision of Charles Bean, Australia's First World War official historian. Bean landed with the Australian troops on Gallipoli and stayed with them at the front through to the end of the war. The idea of this national memorial and museum came to him at Pozières, France, in the depths of the bloody fighting of 1916. Bean's idea was that this would be a place where families and friends could mourn loved ones buried in faraway places. It would also be a place that could help all Australians understand what these men and women had endured and what they had done for us. Bean's vision, to which we remain true, is best expressed as inscribed in the entrance to the memorial's galleries. Here is their spirit and the heart of the land they loved, and here we guard the record, which they themselves made. Tonight, we will read the story behind just one of those on the Roll of Honour, which lists the names of more than 103,000 men and women who have given their lives for us in war and on operations for more than a century. But first, we present a lament, Flowers of the Forest. Wreaths or floral tributes will now be laid at the base of the pool of reflection.
Today, we remember and pay tribute to Private Jack Stone. Jack Stone was born on the 18th of December 1922 in Wagen, Western Australia, the son of John and Margaret Stone. Young Jack grew up in the area, living with his family in nearby Dumbleyung in the wheat belt region of Western Australia, about 200 kilometres southeast of Perth. Stone went on to work as a transport assistant until the 20th of March 1942, when he enlisted in the 2nd Australian Imperial Force. As he was 19 years old, he obtained a letter of parental consent to ensure he was able to enlist. Entering camp at Claremont, he was detached for a few days of field butchery duty before becoming part of general reinforcements and beginning training at Northam. In May, he was found absent without leave and was admonished by his commanding officer and fined as punishment. After a trip to hospital to treat scabies, Private Stone transferred to the 2nd 28th Battalion. On the 6th of September 1942, he embarked for active overseas service at Fremantle. Arriving in the Middle East in early October, he continued training at Qasa, north of Gaza, until joining his new unit on the 1st of January in 1943. By then, the 2nd 28th Battalion had been involved in the defence of Tobruk during 1941, the First Battle of El Alamein in July 1942, when it lost more than 80% of its personnel at Ruin Ridge, and the Second Battle of El Alamein from October to November. As Private Stone joined his battalion, it left Palestine for the Suez Canal, from where it sailed to Fremantle. Back in Australia, on the Atherton Tablelands in Queensland, the 2nd 28th reorganised for jungle operations. Private Stone was found absent without leave again in March and was admonished and fined. In its first action against Japanese forces, the 2nd 28th participated in the 9th Division amphibious landing at Red Beach, northwest of Lae, in early September. After the fall of Lae, Stone and his comrades landed north of Finschhafen in September and gradually moved to Scarlet Beach, arriving on the 13th of October. Days later, the Japanese forces attacked in strength. By the end of the month, they would be forced to withdraw. By then, however, Private Stone had been wounded in action, receiving a gunshot wound to his mouth and tongue on the 18th of October. After initial treatment, he was evacuated, travelling from Finschhafen to Townsville in January of 1944 for further treatment and recovery. In March, he was again hospitalised, this time suffering from malaria, a recurring ailment that would continue to plague him. Private Stone returned to the 2nd 28th Battalion in November 1944. By then, the battalion had reformed at Ravenshoe on the Atherton Tablelands in Queensland for an extensive period of training. In March of 1945, Stone again went absent without leave, this time for more than a fortnight. Upon his return, he was fined and given 28 days detention. It would be his final breach of military discipline. The following month, Stone and his comrades were transported to Morotai, which was being used as a staging area in preparations for the 7th and 9th Division's amphibious operations on Borneo. Landing on Labuan Island on the 10th of June, it would take the 2nd 28th and 2nd 43rd Battalions 11 days to clear the island. Stone, however, would not see the task completed. During the landing operation, he was wounded in action for the second time, sustaining a gunshot wound to the stomach and spine. Evacuated to hospital, he was sent onwards to a hospital ship. At home in Western Australia, the local newspapers reported a very successful operation by an American Army doctor on Jackie, so we are all looking forward to further good news. Stone arrived in Sydney in August, but his condition continued to deteriorate. On the 13th of February 1946, his condition changed from seriously ill to dangerously ill, and on the 18th of February 1946, he died. Jack Stone was buried in Perth War Cemetery. He was 23 years old. Tributes appeared in the local newspapers, which reported that the passing of Private Jack Stone caused widespread sadness throughout the district. Whilst extending our heartfelt sympathy to the family, we feel that a silent sufferer is now at rest. Private Stone's name is listed on the Roll of Honour on my left, amongst almost 40,000 Australians who died while serving during the Second World War. His photograph is displayed today beside the pool of reflection. This is but one of the many stories of service and sacrifice told here at the Australian War Memorial. We now remember Private Jack Stone, who gave his life for us, for our freedoms, and in the hope of a better world.
Please stand for the reading of the ode and the sounding of the last post.
Catapult party, shoulder, arms.
They shall grow not old as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun and in the morning, we will remember them.
We will remember them.
Catapult party, present, arms. Catapult party, shoulder, arms.
Lest we forget.
Lest we forget.
Catapult party, outwards, turn. Catapult party, quick, march.
We leave you this evening with the words of the memorial's founder, Charles Bean. Many a man, lying out there at Poziere, or in the low scrub at Gallipoli, with his poor, tired senses, barely working through the fever of his brain, has thought in his last moments, well, it's over. But in Australia, they will be proud of this. Ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys, that concludes the last post ceremony. On behalf of the director, staff, and volunteers, thank you for visiting the Australian War Memorial today. We wish you all a very pleasant evening.